Coming up next is a free episode of my show, which airs exclusively on MotorTrend On Demand. It's called Daily Fix. Sometimes you'll see Johnny in it.
Could you call it Daily Drift?
That's not a bad idea.
The Daily Drift.
If you like what you see, sign up for a free trial at MotorTrendOnDemand.com, free 30-day trial. And if you don't like what you see, keep enjoying all the cool stuff here we do on YouTube. Enjoy.
Bye. That hurts my knees.
Fun.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, in this episode of Daily Fix, we're driving Truck Norris's, which is John McGann here, CarCraft's editors, Chevy C10, which is a very quiet street truck, right?
Very docile.
How much power did this engine make when you had it on the dyno?
716 at the engine dyno.
716 on the engine.
Yeah, and 580 at the wheels.
Okay. So, you know, a nice normal shop truck.
Right.
Quiet, smooth, easy to drive. That is ridiculous. So the last time we saw this truck, it wasn't working. Is this thing you have to stop for?
No, it's a caution.
Okay. People might be crossing at some point.
It's just for the fire station up there.
Okay. So last time we saw this truck, the engine was in. You were at AEM getting it to run.
Right.
Now it runs.
It runs.
And how has it been?
It's been great. A bit of a learning curve. I've never really owned anything that's
It's ridiculous.
I've borrowed press cars with 700 horsepower before, but nothing like this, you know. And so there's a lot of things that still need to be worked out. But for the most part, it's a riot.
It's that feeling once you get it all together and it all starts to work.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Once it all comes together and you can actually drive it, it's like everything else becomes secondary or tertiary. It's like, it works.
I know.
Happy, right?
Happy.
What was it like when you first drove it home?
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was unlike anything I've ever owned. You know, I've driven quick cars before, but nothing that just was like so much. Just the thing shakes. It makes a ton of noise. People are like, look at me like that.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
right? But that's why we do this, right?
Exactly.
That's why you do it, because it gets that shock and that response.
Yeah.
None of the gauges work except for the volt gauge, right?
Right.
How do I get back to a main road?
Go all the way to the light and then turn right.
The next one?
Yeah, all the way to that next traffic light, way down there.
This is ridiculous. This is the tough part. Thank you for letting me drive Truck Norris. But the tough part's going to be trying to talk about it while taking all this in.
Yeah. Well, I can lab for a while. Actually, go to that next traffic light.
The next one?
Straight through this one and then to the next red.
Okay.
So it's a 540 big block Chevy.
Yes.
From Blueprint Engines. And then AEM's Infinity EFI, T56 Magnum from American Powertrain. We got a McLeod dual disc clutch, so the dual disc helps with a lighter feel at the clutch pedal than a big, something that a single disc that would need to handle 700
kind of power.
Yeah, about 600 pound-feet of torque.
Yeah.
The fuel system we set up to run for alcohol or gasoline.
Okay.
So it's
straight here.
Yeah. Straight, and then I know I've been saying that like.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
That light, turn right. That's Crenshaw. That'll go back up to El Segundo.
Okay. So gas or alcohol?
Gasoline or alcohol. So if you want to do 80, E85.
Okay.
Methanol, whatever. The fuel system lines are compatible with alcohol fuel, and then they're big enough to accommodate.
Deliver that flow.
Right. There's 3 fuel pumps. So there's one low pressure pump that keeps the fuel reservoir filled up, and then there's 2 high pressure pumps in the reservoir in case I need a lot of.
In case you need a lot of gas.
Right. I heard this thing run on the dyno.
Yeah.
I expected it to be a little bit crazy.
A little crazy, huh?
Yeah. But I guess what's impressive to me is that with the fuel injection, you can just drive it around, The engine itself isn't that radical. It's a 10-to-1 compression, so it doesn't need raised gas.
The 700 horsepower engine is not that radical. You just said that. Okay, I just want to make sure that's clear.
Yeah, I mean, all right, I guess it's a little bit, I guess it just shows you what I mean. I'm used to writing about, 1,000 horsepower, 1,500 horsepower drag cars, and
this is not that radical street car. Much like how the atomic bomb was kind of a minor ordinance, right? Like, yeah, that makes sense.
That's true. But
Should we go right here?
Yes. But it's. I drove it. The farthest I drove it was to Costa Mesa, to the Canon camera store in Costa Mesa, and I got stuck in traffic, and I was like,
it's gonna overheat, and it's fine.
Fans come on. I mean, it sits here idling, and I burned through, I think, 9 gallons of gas.
Costa Mesa, for people who aren't aware, is maybe 30 minutes away. It's a 30, 25 mile drive.
Right.
9 gallons.
Yeah.
That's great.
It got 8 miles per gallon, which, I don't know. That
for
sounds,
a 700 horsepower big block, that's not terrible.
Yeah, and at 540 inches, there's a lot of air moving through the engine.
Yeah.
So,
that's crazy. So have you had any teething issues getting it together?
Yeah, a little bit. The gauges are one thing.
Yeah.
I don't have a speedometer cable that connects to the T56,
Okay.
so I need to either figure that out or do a GPS.
Yeah, GPS-based speedo.
Yeah. AEM has a really nice dash that'll CAN bus into their computer.
Yeah.
So I may just put
cut a hole in here where there's no stereo, and or like do like because they did these dashes, they would have these like doubled-in slots. They could have a whole block off there, because you could almost like put a block off, hide the AEM thing underneath it, and flip it up when you want to get serious.
Right. So I'm thinking of something like that, because I'd like to keep the thing looking. I like the original steering wheel. I actually found that on eBay.
Really?
Yeah.
It's even in this. Did you paint this dash or?
No, this is the truck's original colors.
So you just got this to match just by?
It happened to be blue.
That's
on
really
eBay.
cool.
That was neat. So I want it to look original inside,
and then just be absolutely bananas.
That's cool. It's fun.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. How's so besides that, the electronic stuff? I mean, the normal engine swap, new engine in the car. Has there been any other big issues, or has it all been pretty straightforward?
Once we got the motor mounts figured out,
Yeah.
and then we had to make some clearance for the headers.
Yeah. What's the exhaust system on this?
It's a Hedman headers.
Yeah.
2-inch primary header, long tube headers into 3-inch collectors, and then 3-inch exhaust to do 3-inch glass packs coming out the side.
Okay.
And they actually told me at AEM that I could probably go, as big as 4 inches. They were saying that, 3 inches might be a little
tight.
Yeah. So who knows? But
Yeah, it could stand to be a little louder.
a little bit louder.
A little bit.
Right.
It's always the talk of there's this very sacred speed to sound ratio. You can never be louder than your car is fast.
Correct.
But you can always be slightly quieter. I think this is appropriate. I think it's pretty solid right now for my seat of the pants, especially without instruments. It feels like the business.
Yeah, it's cool.
Fast. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Actually, I don't know if you wanted to, but if you ever wanted to do any instrument testing with this thing, I'd be totally up for that. It'd be cool.
That sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
But what's the rear end?
It's a 373 truck 12 volt.
Okay.
That I put like a ratcheting locker in, but I have a true track differential for it that'll go in soon.
What are the tires?
295 Mickey Thompson ET drags.
Do you think the rear end could stand up to that?
It should.
It should?
Yeah. Because I think. Yeah, I don't plan on doing clutch dumps and 5,000 RPM launches, so I think
we could test it though, right? I mean, that's what testing is.
Yeah, well, if you want to do that, that's fine with me, because I'd like to see that.
You'd like to see that? That'd be fun. Now, have you done any let's say, testing of your own as far as acceleration goes, hypothetically, to feel out what this acceleration is like at full bore?
It's hard to find enough open space. I've rolled into it in second and third gear, down the street a little bit, on an empty at night, and it gets up there quick.
it gave up the traction in first very quickly on that first acceleration, but you know, that's to be expected, right?
Yeah.
That's so cool. How do we start making our way back?
Just keep going straight.
Okay.
And I'll tell you when to turn.
Okay, cool.
There'll be a right turn coming up a couple blocks.
As someone who really likes C10s, this is a pretty freaking sweet.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
C10s are cool. Then you got a big motor, which is even cooler, and it's a 6-speed manual. This is like, you get the most like man points for doing this kind of truck. Because
the thing was originally a 4-speed.
Yeah.
I prefer manual transmissions. I didn't want to put an automatic in it. It would have been easier, but anyway, I'm thrilled with it. I love the combination.
This is a T56 Magnum, yeah?
Yeah.
It's a nice transmission. I mean, I've always liked the way these things go through gears.
Yeah.
Really positive mechanical feedback.
Yeah.
And did you custom do this? The shifter?
The shift handle came with the kit.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it fits the interior here perfectly. It doesn't interfere with the seats. It's right there where you need it. You know.
And this shifter, this is the stock C10, right?
Right. That's the 4-speed shift knob.
Feels good.
Yeah, it's cool.
Did you like clean this up at all? Because it seems to be in like much better shape than.
I got a repro from Plastic Industries. Yeah. When I got this thing, it had one of those chrome skull shift knobs.
Yeah.
I left them on the door locks, but I took the chrome skull off the shifter.
Other people's cars, right? Other people's cars, question modifications. What's next? I mean, it's tough. It might be tough to think about because it's running and it's always, like.
Yeah. There's some stuff that I'd like to work with AEM that we had originally planned on. So this thing will do coil on plug ignition. So you can replace this distributor with a low module. It's a cam sync sensor, and then do coil on plugs like an LS1.
Yeah.
And they'll do individual cylinder timing.
Make it more efficient, give it more power.
Yeah. They were talking about a power adder of some sort because it'll do traction control also. So if we do that, we'll have to add wheel speed sensors.
Yes. I remember talking about the potential traction launch control systems that you could do on something like this.
Yeah.
That sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool to have like that level of tech in this kind of truck.
It is.
You know?
You don't expect that.
Not at all.
I like that.
But it also, I mean, just driving it, it feels like a competent, sorted machine. Like it doesn't, at least from my perspective, hey, it's big, it's fast, it's powerful. Nothing feels modern except for the fact that it works, right?
Right. Right turn here.
And that's the magic of technology when you do it right. Is it doesn't interfere. It just ensures reliability.
Yeah.
Let's say, okay, you get this truck, you're driving it home, first time you step on it, what's your reaction? That's what were you just like, mother of God?
I think you'd have to bleep out my mouth.
Because this is...
Well, the first trip I had to go was straight to the gas station because I've been bringing 5-gallon jugs of gasoline to the engine dyno sessions.
Yeah.
3 gallons of gas, I wasn't sure how much is in there. I don't have a fuel level there. So I'm just looking down there and it's like, so I drove straight to the gas station. I was like, holy shit, this is crazy.
The first get-go, you're just giggling. I mean, I imagine it's not too different than my reaction where you just want to laugh on and on and on. Because this is, I mean, hey, big stupid power is a wonderful thing, right?
It is, it really is. The right turn at the next light. Yeah, it's a riot. I love it.
So when you get people in this truck, what's their reaction? Is it very similar?
Yeah.
Are you just like, it's just a shop truck, hop on in, we'll go to the grocery store, go get some parts.
I know, actually, the only people who've ridden with me, you're the only guy who's ridden with me, and then Bo from AEM helped. Well, he was doing a computer tuning while I was driving it, and that's it.
Yeah.
My wife drove behind me, and she's like, my car was shaking when I was behind you at the stoplight. So
good. Mission accomplished, right?
That's awesome. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. It's all right.
Man. All right, I got to work on getting that C10 back.
Yeah.
You're inspiring me.
That's good.
Well, John, thank you very much for letting me drive this truck.
Absolutely.
It's
My pleasure.
awesome.
My pleasure.
Manual steering. Are you going to do power steering, or are you going to leave it a manly truck?
Manly for now.
Man. Here's what you missed last week on Daily Fix, exclusively on MotorTrend On Demand. We're driving truck Norris's. How much power did this engine make when you had it on the dyno?
716 at the engine dyno.
This is all original dash?
This is all original.
It is so clean.
Yeah.
Like it's
AM radio.
So what year is this Bronco?
It's a 75. This one has discs.
Nice.
Less of a death trap.
Less. I'm Carlos Lago, and if you didn't watch last week's Daily Fix, you should do that now. It's exclusive on MotorTrend.